Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to Behind the Scales. This show is about more than reptiles. It's about the people, the grit, and the stories you don't see on the surface. And today's guest is one of those stories. Billy Ferguson started working construction with his dad at 12 years old, spent 25 years as a union carpenter, went back to school, became a chef, and ran his own restaurant and bakery. He's a father of three, met the love of his life in 2018, and a month later was diagnosed with multiple myeloma cancer. He survived multiple strokes, including a hemorrhagic stroke that left him using a cane or walker. Most folks would have just stopped right there, but he didn't. He became a peer counselor for kids living with cancer, now works in suicide prevention, helped build a program being used in schools nationwide, and walks the streets helping the homeless get IDs, jobs, and a real shot at life. This is going to be a powerful one, folks. And this one's not going to be so much about reptiles, but it's going to be about real stories and real people. So everyone help me in welcoming Billy Ferguson to the stage.
Hello, G. Paul.
Good afternoon, young man. How you doing?
Oh, I'm dandy like candy. Glad to be here with you today.
It's always good to see you, my nephew.
Let's add to the medical freight train list.
Yes.
Who's watching Parkinson's? Because I've got my shake on today. Because if anyone's just so they know, I'm not just a giant bobblehead. I am having a few Parkinson's fits today, so let's roll with it.
And I don't think that I mentioned too that you have some autism, right?
Well, I don't have. I have all autism.
You have all autisms.
Yes, I was diagnosed with autism as a young child. I went ahead and got checked again a few last year or so, 2-3 years ago, just to, as an adult, just to understand myself a little more. But I've worked with the adult autism community, as we will talk about later on when we discuss suicide prevention.
Right.
Autism in adults, autism is the highest non-medical reason of lost life in the adult autism community. So
right. Fill in all the blanks I left open there about who you are, how things are affecting you in life, and how it's affected you.
Well, like you said, I got diagnosed with multiple myeloma cancer back in 2018, and shortly after I met my now wife Brittany, and it's tough. I mean, I'd had some cancerous tumors before and what have you, but it has been a chore. It has, because I was running at a successful, had my bakery in Lexington, Kentucky. And I've been working as a chef for several years. After unofficially retired as a union carpenter, I kind of just switched careers along the way. And about 2 years in of having chemo and having different procedures to help with my cancer, I met a young girl that was infectious and positivity. Normally in the area of the doctor's offices where we got treated, kids had their section in peds, and we had the adults had theirs, but there's a young girl, probably 14 or 15, that one day during treatments, she was just going to talk to everybody.
Right.
And she is the seed that planted my positive journey, if you will.
Yeah, I got you.
She would not stop until everybody at least had a smile that day. And so I decided to become, like I said, a peer counselor for kids. I went back for kids living with cancer. I went back to school to get my long-term degree in psychology. I kind of had a few stops along the way. I got certified as a counselor, which led to this past year getting my doctorate in psychology.
Right.
Not to skip through a few things, but that was a long-term goal. And I didn't do it for a title. I didn't do it for anything other than I knew it would be a way to help others and
Yes, sir.
give some credibility. Along the way, I had some more medical things in 2023. Let's jump a little bit. After living with cancer for 5 or 6 years, I suffered a hemorrhaging stroke, like you mentioned, and it wiped out my left side of my body. And I had to relearn to do a lot. And this whole side of me is numb. I can use it, but I'm no longer able to do shadow puppets. And that's okay. That's okay. But I started just deciding, my wife said, "You need a hobby. You need, So I decided, okay, I can't cook anymore. I can't do construction. My bakery closed after, earlier in part of 2023 when I had to step away from my cancer. So I've always been a person that's been involved in a lot. And I've always been a person involved in a lot. So I was like, okay, how can I give back? And you were, we talked every day.
Yeah.
You remember all the little things along the way. So I remembered going to work at the bakery at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, passing my downtown area and seeing all the homeless communities and how they just lived on the street. It's sad. And I offered jobs to several and people living on the street and it worked out, but they only go so far. So I've been doing life skills classes at Lexington's Hope Center, which is a fantastic nonprofit organization that helps with the homeless community. But I knew there's a whole lot of resources, many resources out there, but getting the resources to the people, that's the hard part. And many people, when they look at the homeless community, it's not about giving handouts. The young men and women and people like outside your Walmart or Kroger's or wherever that you see just panhandling, I always say those are the people that's not ready yet. And what I mean by that is I started walking the streets of Lexington with my walker, with my cane.
Right.
Either talk to them about the resources available, I drive them to the homeless center, Hope Center, and I started showing them a better way. Meaning, I did start working with them on life skills. Many people, I am 43 years old. Many people my age and younger have no clue how to even do a resume or an application properly.
Exactly.
The social cues of a job interview, they either weren't taught or they just, possibly don't know the best way. So I started doing this. I just started doing classes, little things, and where I'd worked at as a got my certifications and whatnot, and substance abuse counseling, and I tried to just cover a large, wide variety of topics so I could help people. And walking around doing this, Lexington, a lot of people thought I was crazy because you have a guy that's, I don't like to use the word disabled, but disawesome, handicapable, whatever. But I would walk around and I didn't care. I wanted to help people. I wanted to help show people a better way. Because I truly believe, especially after my stroke, I had a second chance. I've had a few chances that just been adding on, but I truly believe that I was getting to my ninth life, and I needed to show something better towards it. There's nothing more that makes me prouder in this life than my 3 kids.
100%.
But I need to show them the best example I possibly could. I'm very proud of being an executive chef. I was proud of being a union carpenter. But that was in the past, and I can no longer do those things physically. But I had a lot of experience, and I could share many different things. And as I went to school, for higher education, I'd help these people on the street. And,
right.
It didn't come easy. As you know, 2024, I got I learned a very valuable lesson that just because there's no walls up, that there are still rules of people's houses or homes. And two gentlemen jumped me, and they started beating on me because they saw me in their community, and I was not a welcome guest. They just saw a guy that was there, and they didn't feel should be. Luckily, I was to my city's courthouse, and there was a police officer. They helped because I had my cane that day, and believe it or not, I'm not as easy to defend myself as I once was. But that day was a wake up call for me in the way I looked at life even further, because that day that I decided I'm down here to help people. I didn't press charges on those two gentlemen. One of the gentlemen had struck the officer, so I couldn't help that. But the younger gentleman,
he went on to help out, didn't he?
Yeah, I saw something in him, and I now live in Knoxville, Tennessee, but he's now back in Lexington, kind of keep leading on where I'm not there on the daily. He's doing what I did 2 years now. He's got a job. He's got a wife, and he's got a beautiful young child, and he's doing exactly what I did. And it wouldn't happen that day if I didn't cease. I chose not to make life even worse for him. And that's what life is. Life is a gift, and I will say this many times today. Life is a gift. It's our greatest gift, and many times we don't have many shots of it. So we got to make the best of it, and we got to treat one another in the best possible way to really make the best go.
Well, I think today's a little different for you because usually you're the one doing interviewing, aren't you?
Normally I'm on and you're in the thing. You're trying to do producing, interviewing. I have a few things I enjoy doing that's not nonprofit advocacy work, where I interview people in the horror or entertainment field, wrestlers or what have you, that I enjoy doing them. And I've got to meet some incredible people along the way doing it. And normally talking about myself or accolades, it might be the tism talking, but it gets me a little awkward, but I do my best to. I've got a story of just helping people. And if I can influence others to do that and share some of the awareness, that's why I'm here today to.
Yeah.
And we'll even talk reptiles along the way because I have a little bit of knowledge of that.
Right.
But,
well, I did want to point out to everyone that if they watched the little video of the advertisement for the show, I wanted to point out that leather jacket you were wearing in there came from somebody pretty special, huh?
That I can proudly say that yours for several years, the wrestler Roddy Piper was a friend, and I've gotten to know his family, and I was gifted one of his. He had several, but I was gifted one of his old leather jackets. He was. I've got a tattoo that it says "Stay strong," all out of bubble gum. Because Roddy and letters he wrote me for years, back before texting was available, and we emailed. He wasn't the best emailing, but we did it back and forth for years. But one of his letters he signed. Oh, he always signed "Stay strong," and I took that and made a tattoo out of it. And all out of bubblegum was from his line from They Live, just to remind myself that every day I get up and do my best to do my best.
All right. Well, we're going to take a short break here and go off to a little commercial break.
I'll be here when we come back.
We'll be right back, folks. Both of those are great company and great people there. I just want to remind everyone that Chris Eaton Fat Man will be on the show on March 22nd and be promoting Deeds Without Words, his support for Freedom Camp and veterans and first responders. Uh, tell us about JT's initiative some.
On January 1st, 2004, I got one of the worst phone calls of my life. Now, some things I share from my therapy work and counseling work, if I share it, I share the positive side, but I leave out the details because of,
Right.
respect. But I had a young man that I call JT that he had chose to end his life around that morning, and he was a special kid. He's 17 years old. Him and his mom had really came from some hardship, and he had done his best to. I thought I was upward. He's one of my what I call my cancer kiddos. He hadn't fully beat cancer, but he was making one heck of a run. I got a phone call saying JT had ended his life, and I'd talked to his mom, and part of my counseling therapy work is talking to the kids, but also talking to the parents, trying to just
Right.
help them any way I can. And when a parent, I try to look at everything through a father's eyes because it's what I am first and foremost. I'm a father, and I don't have the magic answer to every little thing. But I told his mom, I promised her that we would make JT's life and death have meaning, the best of our ability.
Have a legacy.
So I learned a new code. I got involved in suicide prevention. I went and got certified. I switched my degree to suicidology while I was still going to school for psychology for my doctorate. And I became a suicide prevention counselor. And that's how I spent a lot of my time. Well, not with my family, but I started working with calling um, uh, different school systems around Kentucky and Ohio, and talking to principals, counselors, and just kind of get an idea of how I could help. And it happened to be I was doing a speech at a high school in Cincinnati, and I saw how great they had so many posters for 988, the suicide prevention call line, and just how they were they weren't running. The word suicide is a scary word to people, but a lot of times people want to say unalive and use anything because of anything but the word. But suicide should not be a comfort word. Suicide, and hopefully, that don't get flagged from YouTube. But just one of those things that
It's a real situation.
It's a real situation, and I really respected this school for embracing it to help their kids. So that's where I started. And long story short, with help from Governor Andy Bashir and his people, and just through many different school systems, we got JT's initiative, started the program, but worked with peer-to-peer counseling for kiddos in school, because if a kid's having mental health in teenagers is a real thing, mental health issues. And when the kids have issues, 9 times out of 10, they will talk to a friend or a peer, make that first step before they will an adult. That's all how it's always been. Trust thing. And so I set up a thing to where in this program, a child will get some training to where if someone comes to them, they will take that information to their school counselor, different key people in the school that has had that training. Say, I call them safe people. I've taught them how to work with local extracurricular companies to where mental health through physical activity or through different activities is a good thing. Um, my daughter did martial arts through Premier Martial Arts in Lexington, Kentucky. She
Yes.
now 10 years old. She's got her black belt, and she's awesome. And a lot of the kids that she went to martial arts with are all awesome. But she is also on this positive journey with me to where, she understands the point, purpose of helping others.
She's an awesome young lady for sure.
But like I said, I didn't know how I was going to keep this promise to JT's mom. But what I did know is I could help, and we got JT's initiative started. It got picked up by a national group, and now it is being incremented into school systems across the country. Through
awesome.
And I'm proud of it, and I'm proud that it has its name. I call it the JT Initiative. I respect for it, but I am proud of that his legacy will hold more than how it ended.
Yes, for sure.
And
now you mentioned Governor Beshear there. Didn't he invite you to speak to Congress on behalf of
earlier or last year? I was invited for the suicide prevention. The options of LGBTQ for teen option was being defunded. Now it's been defunded, but it's being taken to Canada has really stepped up to help that option out. Because when you call, they give you different options. One of them was the military option, which was also about to be defunded. Sadly, they were really focusing on the LGBTQ youth to really hammer in. That's almost like it's a bad thing for a child to have mental health challenges. Everybody deals with their own form of mental health challenges. It should not be a scary thing. It should not be a thing to be shamed for. We should be helping one another to help. But they invited me to go to DC, but unfortunately with my health issues, I wasn't able to make the trip. So Hampshire invited me to Frankfurt, and Congress allowed me to do a hardship to where I got to speak to them, virtually, and to defend the teen youth with LGBTQ and military. That they were trying to defund the military portion of, and I never could join the military. But I respect the men and women who joined. My health never allowed me to join the military. My grandpa served proudly, and a lot of my family. I'm very proud of my nephew, who's a member of the Army National Guard. I respect, and police officers, any first responders. There's good and bad people, but don't just don't hate. Just don't be flat hate. But yes, Andy Bashir. I don't get.
I'm sorry about my dogs.
Yes, I love dogs. My dog's asleep somewhere in the house. But I don't get so. When I speak politics, I don't try to say I'm a Republican or Democrat. I try to use common sense. Me and you have spoken plenty of times, but Andy Bashir, I truly believe, is one of the good ones. I've known him for a little over a year now. I would consider him a friend, and he's helped me in my advocacy work through suicide prevention and mental health and the homeless initiative. So much, and that's just a little, just a little show of appreciation for Kentucky's governor. You may politically, you might not care for him, I don't know, but as a man, he is a good man, and I think he does a very good job for Kentucky. But I will leave it at that. So into a political podcast.
Well, how did you carry your journey? I know you recently moved to Knoxville, and you just didn't leave that all behind.
I didn't. We've gotten in Lexington. We was able to get several hundred people off the street. There's still a lot of people in Kentucky that is homeless and they need help. And like I said, it's not about a handout. anybody can be given a handout, but it's about a better way of training and just finding them work, find them homes and all that. There's a lot of people I found by moving here to Knoxville, Tennessee, that they don't have, I guess it just didn't hit me as hard in Lexington. They don't have IDs. They don't have mailing addresses. And it's hard to have much of a life, to have work, to have anything without those two simple things. Some of the craziest thing I've ever seen, maybe it's just my being naive on certain things, but I saw buses, a bus one day where people were just dropped off, and I said, where are they coming from? And that day it was from Arizona. I'm like, what? And I'm like, I'm not big on this, the paranoid, skepticism. Sorry, but I think I made up a word there. but I see what I see. I saw that damn like people's just being driven into our town and dropped off because they weren't wanted somewhere else, basically. And homeless community there but they, like I said, they had no IDs. They had, I'm like, we have a road here in Knoxville, Broadway, and there's a huge homeless community there. And there's merchants drive here in Knoxville. There's a lot of homeless people need help. Some might not want help. That's their choice in life. Sure. But some would appreciate it. So I didn't have near the resources I did in Lexington, like with the Hope Center and with the governor that I got on good terms with. But I still had my walker and my cane. So that's what I did. I went down and I started talking to people. And I started going to our city council. Mayor Glenn Jacobs, former WWE wrestler Kane. And I just bugged the heck out of everybody I could in this town until we got some, so I could get some resources. And I found this fantastic group, nonprofit group called Relaunch. And worked with them some to get a homeless shelter opened here in Knoxville. And then the Conway of Relaunch, amazing job, and we worked together, and we got funding, and what we was able to do, they had a lot of fantastic volunteers, and I realized, I'm possibly better just in some situations of just staying in my lane, because I would go there and I would talk to people, but they had people to serve food and to make sure that, I'm like, I want to use my, not that I'm better or anything like that, definitely not, but my experience, if you will, the degrees and experience that I've gotten. So I just started doing a lot of one-on-one sessions, because I've never charged for one time. I'm a nonprofit counselor. I've never charged anyone to help people. I've never. Right. I could probably be a little bit more well off financially if I did, but I didn't do this for money. I did this to help people over the past several years, and exactly. We've made a good go over here in Knoxville. Gotten a lot of people opportunities with jobs and just getting them IDs and mailing addresses. That's a big step.
But yes, definitely.
It's a good step, and a lot of people. It's a slow process, but it's a proud process, and I don't mind to. I spent my Thanksgiving. My family works in the food service, so my son and my wife was working that day. I went down there, and I served food under the bridge next to the shelter. And at that time, we had not opened yet, so I made 300 Thanksgiving sandwiches and sides myself in my kitchen, and I went down there, and I had some fantastic donations through the some of the grocery stores here in Knoxville, like Ingles and I think Food City, and I just did what I do, and I'm
right. Well, we're going to cut again. Just go back to give our show sponsors a little recognition right now. So
we like sponsors.
Yeah, they're good folks.
Introducing the Python Portal, a ball python breeder who works on snow and true ghost combos, as well as the Tiger Dean.
We also offer many unique custom 3D printed accessories, as well as custom merch, so don't forget to stop by and check us out.
If someone out there is watching right now and they're looking for a ball python or a powerful one for their breeder group, check out Will at the Python Portal or Garrett at Dirty Bay Reptiles. They've got some really nice animals, and they're very well cared for and very socialized. So I do appreciate those guys for taking me and helping mentor me as well, and it's meant a lot to me. Well, tell me, we talked about a lot of the things that you've done and this and that, but how did all these things that has happened to you that, as Sean mentioned earlier, a bad card of hands, you know, you've had your own days of not good days, right?
Physically, like right now, sitting here, I'm in a lot of pain in my face, and sitting up, laying down, it all hurts. And yeah, I have my challenges. And the more I go, the past few days, I've had some difficult days through my counseling and what have you. But I try to turn negativity into positivity. I'm trying to use all this to where something good comes from it. That's where my Blue Sky initiative comes from. And that's simple, to where even in our darkest days, the cloudiest, darkest days, it's better to look for that one bit of blue sky through the clouds than just accept all the darkness around us. Find a little bit of positivity, even if it's in a bad situation, because that positivity, being positive, can grow so quickly. We never want negativity to be our default setting. And if you've ever just smiled at somebody or somebody smiled at you, and it's like, for what reason, that makes you feel good. Or most people, that might make them feel good for a moment. Just someone smiling because they're showing a good gesture. They're showing positivity, giving you something positive. And that's how I've tried to get through each of my days, and that's how I try to live my life.
And you've done a good job of that. I mean, I give a lot of credit to the ball pythons, and it's real, but that initiative or that part of my life would have never started without you. That people see who I am today and think I'm this great grandpa, and I think I am a great grandpa.
I'm very proud of you.
Very loving, caring person, but tell them who I used to be.
Well, we didn't always share the same political views, for one, but I always loved you just because I love everyone. I love people. And you were, I think you've changed so much in the past several years, especially in the past 2 or 3 years, I suppose, to where you're not getting blocked on Facebook every month. And you're really looking for people's best sides. And you're Blue Sky, I guess, best way to point it. And you've helped a lot of people. And in the reptile world, you've seen you've taken something that a lot of skeptics have shown, that, like in reptiles and snakes, should not be a good thing. I love, I've never owned a snake. I love snakes. I think I love animals. I love, my dog's my sidekick, my shadow. But
right.
A dog and a snake's the same way in just different ways. And
yes.
Me personally, I love snakes. Now, I just do not like frogs at all. Thanks so much. But snakes, they never bothered me. And I think you said last week on your show how you can look in the snake's eyes and just really see something special.
Yeah.
Caring. And that's very true. A lot of people get bogged down by the title of an emotional sport, whatever, pet or animal. But it goes beyond that, because an animal gives you purpose. Because an animal, whether it's a snake or a dog or just whatever, gives you purpose, it gives you responsibility, and it gives you a companion. And
Right.
snake is all those things. They're very smart and they're fun to watch.
Yeah, and it really gets me because we got all these scientists and all these people in the know, if you will, who say that they're not trainable or they don't have feelings and they don't recognize you and things like that. But they haven't spent any time with them. That's what I can say.
Well, just like a lot of people between mine and your age, snakes were brought into the public through. Now I'll use my background a little bit through Jake the Snake Roberts.
Right.
Some trainers may say he did or didn't handle them always the best way, but he cared for them. He had them, and he made the biggest thing he did for I would say, I guess, snake community is showing that they're not fearful creatures. They're awesome creatures. Damien, his snake, was his sidekick, almost like Batman to Robin.
Mm-hmm.
Once he defeated the villain, he brought Damien in to kind of help finish the job, if you will. But the loudest any wrestling show I went to back in the day, when he got his snake out, that was loudest pop of the night. And
yeah, I've seen a lot of those shows and watched a lot of them on TV, and I don't think I ever saw Damien bite anybody.
No, he was the only time. The only time that he ever, like I said, his practices I won't get in because I speak of what I'm an expert on, but he brought me to the dance of liking snakes and what have you. Him and Randy Savage, the Macho Man, had a thing one time to where he was almost forcing his cobra to bite because if a snake don't want to bite something, it's not going to bite something. If it does, it does. And he was forcing the snake almost to bite and leave marks on it. And it just shows that you can't force an intelligent animal not to do something.
Yeah.
But the message is he did bring snakes into my life, and he did into people of America's life to where it's like, okay, maybe they're not too bad. If you're a good person, maybe they're not too bad. And I don't think snakes are bad at all. I think they're amazing creatures.
I think they get a lot of bad rap because people don't understand things biblically and things like that. A lot of people think because the serpent walked into the Garden of Eden and crawled out kind of thing, and makes them an evil thing. But at the same time, people don't realize that Jesus also cast the devils into the swine, but those swine ran into the ocean and drowned. But man, we all like bacon.
Now it's about perspective, and it's about perspective and what's acceptable and things like that. Getting a bad rap, like I said earlier about when I was assaulted, I went into a community I did not understand, and I didn't know the rules. With snakes or anything, there's rules. You got to understand them, and you got to respect them. And if you do that, you can find some beauty in it, absolutely. And with your, I've enjoyed hearing about your snakes and watching your show here and listening to other people show their passion, because passion in life is purpose.
Yes.
Passion is contagious, just like positivity. It is, you can move it through people, and it can really grow. And showing people that snakes are such amazing creatures, I think it's very special. And plus, for my side of things, for the mental health side of things, where you can share your positivity and help people with purpose and responsibility. That's two very good things for mental health, positive mental health.
Yes.
And having an animal, having that responsibility, that's very crucial. And I would 100%, as long as people's educated of it, recommend that or any other animal. And it's not just for snakes. I mean, if you're going to have a dog, educate yourself. If you're going to have a cat, educate yourself. And they'll be a great sidekick.
I believe any animal can fill that void.
Except frogs, they're dangerous.
Well, my wife would say spiders, but one of my good friends, Kat, is a arachnid expert,
Yeah.
and but I love watching her show, even though we don't have spiders. I do have a spider now, by the way, but it's a gene in a snake. It's a spider gene, not the actual arachnid. And
Just
his
like
name is Arachnid also.
there's beauty in almost everything. I say almost just to put that little bit of saying just in case, but spiders. I'm not a spider person, but just you could watch. It's one of those things you can get on TikTok or whatever, YouTube, and Instagram or any of them, and you'll see one video, then two, and the next 4 hours you've just occupied yourself. Like I am an expert on. I'm an expert for spiders now. That's
Definitely so.
I am not having a spider though, or a frog.
Yeah,
I will never own a frog.
I would personally not mind the spider, but my wife don't, and I don't like to cause her any discomfort. But it's the Willie Boyd spiders.
I've seen Lord of the Rings. I'm pretty sure hobbits like spiders. That's just me though.
For those of you who don't know, his reference here, my brother Howard calls my wife the Hobbit.
She is 4'1" and very awesome.
Billy, I'll let you live with him.
We need a ladder sponsor because she owns several.
That's right.
If I could win, no.
We do need more encouragement, positivity, the blue skies in the world, because for this show right now is what we're trying to do, but there's probably 100 million things going on at the same time that is tearing people down, destroying people, and dividing people. So the more of this that we can do, and the more you can encourage anyone in any way, the better off the world's going to be for it.
I will say this. In the past several years, I started my nonprofit advocacy work. It's not been easy. Like I said, I have many hard days, but it has evened out, gave us a good circle of life to where, because I just kind of recommended to a family that just lost their 11-year-old son day before yesterday. Helping people or just giving your time. There's nothing more valuable in your life than your time. That's the most valuable thing you can give to someone else. I've given a lot of my time, and I will never ask for $1 for it. I have given my time through many, many, many hundreds of hours at the Suicide Hotline. I've dabbled in being a adjunct professor to help teach and in psychology. Did not draw money for that. Like I said, once again, might be a little silly to some, but I believe helping is a beautiful thing. I have a room full of degrees, and that's good to look at. But I did it for credibility and to help others with. It's amazing what a degree and a title will allow yourself to be able to give that help than just
exactly.
And I do believe in helping others. I do believe that one thing I did want to mention is I did for the past several years. We talk just about every day.
Yes.
And because I care about you, it takes just a quick second to text somebody and say, "Hey, how are you doing?" Or how are you? Or just whatever, just to bug them, whatever. And I have a buddy of mine that's probably blowing up my messenger right now, I'm not looking at the moment, but I talk to him every day. And several friends, because people matter. And that 1 second to make a text, just let someone know, just like that smile I mentioned earlier, can mean the world to when someone is feeling the loneliness. And just letting others know I'm thinking about you and you matter because I care about you. And I'm just saying, how's your day going?
Exactly. We're going to go to our last little break here, then we'll be back to finish the show off.
The United States Association of Reptile Keepers is a science, education, and conservation-based advocacy for the responsible private ownership of and trade in reptiles and amphibians. We endorse caging standards, sound husbandry, escape prevention protocols, and an integrated approach to vital conservation issues. Our goal is to facilitate cooperation between government agencies, the scientific community, and the private sector in order to produce policy proposals that will effectively address important husbandry and conservation issues. The health of these animals, public safety, and maintaining ecological integrity are our primary concerns.
Okay.
If you don't know who U.S. ARC is, they fight for the rights of reptiles. U.S. ARC and U.S. ARC of Florida, and if you're out there watching, for $40 a year, you can become a member. It'll help them with their fight to provide our rights to keep reptiles. Some places you can't, some places you can keep certain things and not others, and they're steadily trying to take that away from us. And they'll give you a nice t-shirt as well. Billy, I want to put you on the spot a little bit, okay?
All right.
I know you've watched the last few shows, and I'm pretty sure we've mentioned it, but we have a young man, I think he's probably your age, in our group of friends that lost his wife recently. And I know it was hard for me, and I still have hard days dealing with something like that. Any words of wisdom maybe you could give a shout out to him for?
What's I always tell people I'm in the business of life, and the part of life is death, and it's not easy. Like I said yesterday and the day before, I was trying to find, like I told you, find some magic words to give to two parents that just lost their 11-year-old kiddo to cancer. Yeah. And my recommendation, is the memories. Keep those memories alive. Don't live in the past, but remember how important memories are to us, because memories keep someone alive forever in a way. Memories show how much someone truly meant to you. But also mention, like I've said the entire time, giving time to even the scale out. When you have loss, you have pain, and you have to find a way to compensate, and you have to find a way to lessen that pain. And time will help some, but it won't ever take away 100% all the pain.
I know, that's right.
I've lost dozens of cancer kiddos over the past several years, and each one sticks with me because they all mattered. But we have, young man, I would recommend to get involved, or as my wife said a couple years ago, find a hobby. Give your time in something that will make you feel a little more whole, to where you can give and just find something positive to grasp onto to fill that void. Because it won't 100% fix everything, but I promise you there will be a light. You will find that light again.
I agree. And one of the things through life that helped me the most, and I really didn't deal with the grief of losing Regina until you and I started talking, actually. It's a lot of the things that made me angry and hateful. Spiteful even, I guess you could say. But having that person who is checking on you, being that friend who is there, and whether you feel like talking or not, sometimes, they're there anyway. You don't feel alone, because it's so easy today to feel alone in the world we live in.
My best friend is my wife, Brittany.
Yes.
After I had my stroke back in 2023, after being with others that through medical issues kind of left me high and dry at times, she showed me what love truly was, from things from helping me to the restroom, which that's pretty humbling. When you need assistance on the restroom, that's pretty humbling. There's nothing there's nothing real strong about that to where you feel tough or anything. You
Yeah,
need someone to help you use the restroom. Yeah, that's about as humble gets.
I
But
agree.
from things to getting dressed, my God, I love my kids. When when a side don't work, it absolutely doesn't work. You sometimes your clothes don't fit, and sometimes guess what? You're trying to walk and everything. And I lost a lot of weight. My pants would fall down. Or my son kind of just funny, like, okay, Dad needs help again. So get new belts. That's all I'm saying in life. You know, that loss, grief is a big part of life because it helps us through the days.
100%.
And,
One of the things I wanted to ask or talk about, and that sometimer's disease that I have, like I just forgot what it was.
it's okay.
Uh,
That's why I make notes for everything, and that's why I use a GPS everywhere I go to drive because I forget. I forget sometimes.
oh, definitely so. Definitely so.
I do.
Who? I know that I know the answer, but it means a lot. The answer means a lot to me too. Who has been the biggest influence in your life about pushing forward, keep going, and not complaining about stuff?
Probably starts with my dad. When people talk about strength in life is almost a burden because it means you've been through some stuff.
Yeah.
I've been, and this ain't flex. People tell me you're strong, and they're not talking about muscles. They're talking about you've dealt with a lot. I've been told many years I'm dying of cancer. 8 years ago, 7 years ago, you have this so many years to live. I'm still here, folks. I'm still here. And I like proving doctors wrong. They're good doctors, but I like proving them wrong. When I got Parkinson's last year, some people probably would have been crushed. I was like, I just embraced myself into the Parkinson's community, trying to figure out a way I might be able to help there. My dad, he is the epitome of strength. Him and my Aunt Patty, they're two of the strongest people I will ever know.
I agree.
My mom's been gone for 10 years now, and I miss her every day. My dad, he's strength, and he's about as perfect of a guy in my eyes that you can ever be. All the things I may, all the things that I may have done in my life that people view as good, I'll never be as cool as my dad. And he's taught me more than anybody else. Now, the thing is, I've met a lot of other people through the years that's really showed me good.
Right.
There's things that, they've taught me things. Roddy Piper, for our short friendship, he taught me some things. He was a heck of a guy. He really was. My kids, my kids amaze me. My daughter Kate, my son Caleb, my daughter Bella. They're pretty awesome.
I agree. They are.
They're younger. My daughter just turned 22. I'm so proud of her. And my son, he'll be 19 in June. And my youngest just turned 10. They are a daily reminder that, you know what, I haven't screwed up too bad in life.
100%. And his daughter's birthday was this past Friday, I think.
Yeah.
And
With you.
she did something that it made me cry. I told her happy birthday, and something as simple as her saying, I love you and we miss you. Man, I knew she meant that. And right there,
I will raise 3 good kids. I will also say this as I start to get bogged down a little bit.
okay.
I'll be quick. I've got 2 of the best brothers in the world, Brother Robert and Glenn, Bub and Bob. They've been 2 of the best brothers ever, and they've also raised 2 amazing families. I've got some amazing nephews and great nieces and nephews, and I'm proud of my family. I've got a large family extended all through many states, but I love my family. That family means more to me than anything. And I hope that I've made a few of them proud along the way.
Oh, I know you have.
But I will continue doing what I do. I will continue to get my walker out, my cane each and every day, and try to help somebody. And tonight I'll be logged in the suicide prevention hotline like I was last night, and I'll keep on keeping on, as Joe Dirt said.
Yes. Well, anything you want to say before we close out here? Any last words?
Life is a gift. Every day respect it, because it's the most amazing gift possible.
I agree. And I want to remind everybody that regardless of the situation, and there very well could be someone right now watching us who have or thinking about suicide even. But you are important. You do matter. There's people in your life who love you. You just may not be able to see it, or you're not looking for it. But you're very important. You have a purpose, and you're needed and wanted. So don't do that. Give me a call. Call Billy. Somebody.
I have a page on Facebook, Billy's Blue Sky. It's not affiliated with Blue Sky, it's just Billy's Blue Sky, and that's where I allow people can jump in any time of day if they need help. That's a good way to where we can get started together and find a better way.
Well, buddy, I love you much, and I appreciate you coming on the show. And I'm looking at tickets for Knoxville now, so we'll see what happens.
My office is also my guest room, so
I know that. He got me a new bed, but not just for me, but there's a new bed there for me too.
they're brand new big bed, yes, sir.
All right, everyone, we're going to sign off with this, and we thank you for coming behind the scales, and go out there and make a difference in somebody's life today, and have a great day. Thank you.